The festival is nigh!
The Super Bowl. Shaka versus Tanner. We will randomize the board and start the match. Ready, center square.
I think we're going to see a Gil +0.
I'm going with Fire Tank Assassination.
You know, I was feeling that a little bit in my bones too. It wouldn't shock me.
2 Cemetery Shades is the center square on this board.
Ooh.
In terms of the early rush squares, we do have Grafted Scion if either of them want to go for it off rip. But other than that, I don't see a ton of early stuff. We do see a favorite of, I know the Cult of Bushy aspires to the Topski is the best square, Topski Red Wolf. And there is some other stuff in Academy there, because we do have Imbued Keys in Renala with 4 summons, so that very well might be the best opening play. We also do have some later squares on the board here, pushing into Altus. You can have Raya's Hand of Volcano Manor, comboing with Radon without NPCs. That would also do very well with Memory of Grace with 50k. In Capital, we have Margit and Moog Shackle, and I believe that's it for the Capital.
Yeah, I actually do like feed 2 Deathroot, 2 Sim Shades, 2 Black Knife Assassins on this board, and maybe even pushing into Radon without summoning NPCs by pushing over to that Cemetery Shade early. It's not an awful play at all.
Yep. And we do have some exclusive squares to the Crucible, so if anyone doesn't know, we have 2 divisions here in Elden Squares. We have the Golden Order with Elite, with the best players like Ratty Rai. And there's great players in the Crucible as well, but you know, we have 2 divisions. And we do have a slightly different square set. So some exclusive Crucible squares are Lion's Claw, Ash of War, as well as clear the top of the Frenzy Flame Tower. If you watch Elden Squares Season 1, Frenzy Flame Tower was in the Golden Order last season. Now it's Crucible exclusive. Other than that, though, I think, never mind, the Godskin Apostle. Instead of being only the Dragon Barrel one, it can be any Godskin Apostle, so it will most likely be the one in Altus.
Yep, definitely. You do not want to be doing the Dragon Barrow Godskin Apostle if you have any choice in it.
Yeah.
Also, I think a fan favorite square here, Cleanse the Frenzy Flame Tower. Just a funny square.
Yeah. We've seen some incidents. I've seen
there
people
can definitely
crash
be
out.
incidents.
Yeah.
Also, very bare bones starting classes here. I'm not seeing anything super wieldable. So, yeah. I mean, Spiked Castus looks like the best weapon they can start with. I think on this, you might as well just go for stats.
Tanner choosing to go for, I can't quite see the stats because his camera's in the way, but he's choosing to go for the Dane's Footwork. Also, the Great EP is pretty good because if you can wield it, it has Impaling Thrust on it, which is strong if you can get it wieldable. We'll see what Shaka goes for here.
Oh, we can Gamba over in my chat, one guy. Let's do that.
Yeah, chat, make sure to get your Gambas in.
We're starting off the Super Bowl in a little under 10 seconds here. I am very curious to see where they start. 3 Imbued Keys, Grafted Scion's a great start. Deathroot Black Knife's a great start. And as you pointed out, Top's Key gets you to, Liurnia for possibly Incants only, possibly Frenzy Flame Tower, possibly Renala. There's a lot of good synergy there.
Yep. And they did start the same class. The only difference is Tanner shirt cocking it while Shaka took off his shirt.
Yeah, bold move from Shaka there. The Gaius armor is...
Holy shit, Tanner's going for Scion.
Scion with Dane's Footwork. This is... Oh, wait. He does have Palm Blast.
No!
Oh, no. I don't know if he's capable of using it properly, though. Immediate content from Tanner. Doing a boss he definitely doesn't know how to do. Oh, my God. All right.
Super Bowl!
Listen, I respect the tenacity out of Tanner. I don't think he's ever practiced Scion off rip. You probably could do it with Palm Blast. I think in one of my matches, I showed off how good Palm Blast can be on Limgrave Tree Sentinel. It's a little riskier on Scion. He's quite a bit faster, but that would have been very impressive.
Well, the
It was
good news
not-
is he
not the
died
worst
fast,
idea.
so he only lost a few seconds.
Yeah, he's right behind Shaka here. That was
Yeah.
not a big deal at all.
Shaka's going to immediately go get Torrent here. And I think Tanner
Smart
will
move.
probably do the same.
And one of Tanner's biggest weaknesses is routing. Just in terms of like running around the map, how you move in bingo is so important. You only have 2 hours to play the game, right? So saving like 10 seconds here, 15 seconds here across those 2 hours translates into like minutes of saved time, which can put you ahead on specific squares, can give you an advantage somewhat in the late game. And you can see Shaka here went right around the Limgrave Tree Sentinel. This is the fastest way to get to Gatefront. Tanner is running through Kale, which is this. Although this, you would think this would be faster, this is technically slower, I believe.
Yeah. It is definitely like, it's not actually that much slower, but in bingo terms, it's quite a bit slower because your time is more important at the beginning of the game than the late game because every square and every play is still available, right? So saving a few seconds here by having improved routing to get to Torrent really does matter. That being said, Tanner really is not that far behind.
No, considering the suboptimal routing and fighting Scion, I mean, he is 10, 15 seconds behind Shaka. Not really a big deal, probably.
Yeah. And you do have two options here for Graces that you could go get Torrent. You could either do Gatefront or Aguil Lake North. Aguil Lake North is overall faster, but if you're pushing into Liurnia, you typically want to get Gatefront.
Yep, Gatefront will put you a little closer, so you save the time there, pushing into Liurnia. And on this board, not a ton of reason to have Aguil Lake North, I don't think.
Yeah, and I don't think so either. Also, you're right here with the Greatsword check. Shaka does the check, Tanner does not. It's Dark Moon Greatsword, so that is a great weapon, but not usable in this game.
No, there are situational ways to get the 38 int for Dark Moon Greatsword that you can justify in bingo, but most games, not viable.
Yeah, you typically need to have the int stat dump on the board if you're going to justify using Dark Moon Greatsword. And if it is on the board, it slaps.
Yeah, worth using for sure. Because that dumping 25 to 30 intelligence in bingo can be a problem. You obviously have very limited resources to level up your square, or to level up your character. You're only playing for 2 hours, you're doing very specific stuff, so you're not entirely focused on leveling up. Especially early game, you'll see the players are going to be playing at a low level with +0 weapons.
Mm-hmm. And like, you could go kill, like, in theory, you could go kill Grail, and you can get levels quickly. But that being said, your early game time is so important, especially like the best, fastest squares are still on the board. If you go kill Grail, you're going to lose a lot of time. And even though you will get levels and have your character online, you're probably going to lose too many early squares and it just will not be worthwhile.
Yeah. And Tanner looks like is probably going to go Top's key into imbued sword keys, which I really like. I think Shaka might be looking at the Deathroot idea. He's running towards Third Church and Death Touched Catacombs. Could even be looking at Deathbirds, because on this board, you know, you can knock out Deathbirds pretty quick early if you grab Holy Pots, something I'm a big fan of, but Shaka did not do.
I like the feed to Deathroot square a lot for a few reasons. So to do this square, you need to do the Black Knife Catacomb, or the Death Touch Catacombs in Limgrave. That catacomb also gives you a katana check. So weapons are randomized within their class, right? So this is normally the Uchi Katana in Death Touched. It will be any katana or great katana. Katanas are probably the best checks in bingo, so getting a katana check early is very valuable. Then he'll get the Death Touch, or he'll get the Death Root. Now he'll just have to kill the Tibia and Limgrave for the second Death Root and feed those to Garronk. In addition, feed 2 Death Root to Garronk is a corner square on a diagonal. Squares on a diagonal are very important. Obviously, the center square is the most valuable square because that blocks 4 different bingo lines, but any square that's on a diagonal is the second most valuable because those block 3 bingo lines versus squares that are not on a diagonal only block 2.
Definitely, that's a good breakdown of it. You know, square positions are important, like which squares you choose to do. It's not just, oh, this is the fastest square, I go get this. Like, playing the board positionally. It's kind of it's something you don't learn early, but it is one of the most important pieces of bingo.
Mm-hmm.
I think objectively the fastest square on this board right now is probably like Cleanse the Tower, Tops Key, 2 Deathroot. But 2 Deathroot is by far the best square positionally.
And Shaka made a mistake. He misleveled. He needed to put 2 levels into Dex and 1 into Strength. He needed 3 levels into Dex to wield the Great EP. That being said, he still has the Dean's footwork, so
yeah,
it'll work fine for the Black
slower.
Knife, but it'll be a little slower for sure.
As long as, well, no, actually, it'll be faster if he uses Palm Blast properly.
Yeah. We see a halberd check from Tanner, and that is just the standard halberd. That's not what you're looking for. In bingo, somber weapons are better typically because they're faster to get online. So with the randomization, you're particularly looking for Dragon Halberd or Golden Halberd there.
Yep. Or Banished Knight's Halberd +8. Sneaky good option. Not often talked about, but it is a pre-leveled weapon, which makes it really good early game.
Yep.
Shaka found the Sword of Night in Death Touched Catacombs. Not a great option, but a usable option if they can't find other good weapons in this seed.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't hate that. I'm a little bit more of an advocate of Sword of Night than most. I think the general consensus is it's pretty bad. But it's usable.
Works.
Tanner's going to have a heavy lead here on Tops Key as we see Shaka getting into his first fight here. Oh, yeah, he needs to be using Dane's footwork here. That was 9 damage out of the Ipe. And you do have significant hyper armor with Palm Blast. Shaka could reasonably just hold it down. And I imagine that would also blast the assassin onto her back. But he seems unfamiliar with the weapon, so it'll be a little slower here. But he is getting it done relatively quickly still, actually. Oof. Yeah, now this Black Knife Assassin is comes pre-injured, so it's much slower and easier to fight, which makes it actually a pretty viable starting fight, as we see there, Shaka finishing that up.
Yep. The one thing about that Black Knife, though, because it is pre-injured, it actually has slightly different AI than the other Black Knives. It is programmed to run away from you more often.
Yeah, it does jump back a lot more, which can be really annoying for sure. Like, you'll go to attack it, and it'll just back up immediately after hitting you, which is always infuriating. Although I will take that any day over the bum rush of the full health Black Knife Assassins, I think.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and Tanner found Stormhawk Axe in the Axe check. That's a great bingo weapon. It's very strong. Any weapon with an Ash of War buff is great in bingo. The reason why is because we're operating at lower weapon levels here. The highest you'll really ever see is +6 Somber. So as a result, any Ash of War that does a flat damage buff is way more valuable early game than it is late game, making Stormhawk Axe really strong because you get the lightning damage buff when you do the Ash of War. Also, if Tanner wanted to be really ballsy, he could go kill the Abductor Virgins to get into Altus rather than doing Tectus, because the Abductor Virgins are very weak to lightning damage and even take increased stance damage from lightning weapons.
Yeah, we haven't talked about Volcano Manor much on this board, but it's really good. You have Kill Godskin Noble without sleep, most easily done obviously by getting kidnapped into Volcano Manor. From there, you could Memory of Grace with 50k runes, then go get a Somber 9 weapon. It's a very difficult fight early. It's something you'll maybe see Golden Order players do very early, but it's on this board, it's a pretty good play.
Yeah. And that being said, because we also do have Somber 9 on there too. I know I just said we typically only see +6 Sombers, but if there is the Somber 9 square, you will see the Somber 9.
Yeah, I heard you say that, and I was like, oh yeah, Somber 9's a square though. And then I looked, I'm like, oh, it's right there. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a really hard square to do actually though, because the Somber 7 is such a limited resource in Elden Ring. Your only 2 options for getting it are the sewers in Lanedell or behind the Stone Sword Keys and Godskin Noble in Volcano Manor, which both obviously pretty frustrating to get to.
Okay, chat, Ready, and I now have, if you're on Twitch, Ready, and I now have a shared chat, so that way we'll be able to see both of you, from both chats.
Yes. Very important to do there. All right, and Shaka moving on to his second death route here, obviously. Tibia Mariner, pretty easy. I do think he'd be better off abusing Palm Blast. The damage is just pretty obscene.
Well, the biggest reason why he would be good using Palm Blast is because the Tibia Mariner is made of bones, and strike breaks bones. The Palm Blast is a strike weapon, so it would do extra damage against the Tibia compared to the Great EP.
100%. I also just think people like martial arts, but they didn't really use them much, so they're not as familiar with the moveset. That can happen to you in bingo. You get a weapon that might be good, but you're unfamiliar with it. So there is a bit of like using stuff you're familiar with just so you can stay on a good pace and not die, right? That's an important thing to take into consideration when you're selecting weapons and trying to figure out how you're going to play a game.
The other thing is, like, with the Palm Blast weapons, the martial arts weapons were not as good when the DLC first dropped. And I think a lot of people were excited to use them, got them, and then were like, oh, these things are terrible. They got buffed. They're better now, but really the best thing about them is Palm Blast. You get crazy hyper armor. It does a ton of damage and stance damage.
Shaka making a bit of a heads up play here, moving to grab the sleep pots. This will let him take care of Apostle much easier. Oh, no, he just went the slow way. Never mind. My bad, Shaka. I was unfamiliar with your game.
I was unfamiliar with your game.
That sleep pot would have helped him out a little bit right there. Would have been a 10-second detour to grab that.
God. Seeing you now critique people going the slow way. I remember the first time you went to Third Church, you were like, you went and grabbed the Trina's lilies and jumped way around did the drop down on the right side. I was like losing my mind. And you were like, this is the only way I know to go to Third Church.
Oh yeah, the routing is insane in bingo. You learn how to move around the map much more efficiently. Shaka's skipping the sacred tier too. Shaka, no. More heals, more gooder, my brother. But honestly, I get it. Like, Tanner hasn't marked anything. He probably does feel a little bit like he's racing death route here. He can always go back and grab stuff from the church if he needs to. Because that is one important piece of bingo, is kind of knowing what your opponent's doing. Reading what squares they mark, guessing where they are, what they've checked, what races they have, what they could possibly be doing in the future. Yep. It's not something you think about much, because, you know, most of the time you're watching both players, right? So you have all the information. You're like, it's this player should do this because his opponent's doing this. Most of the time you're watching. Players have no way of knowing, right? So you have Tanner right now can read. All right, Shaka probably went this.
Doing that.
Opponent's doing probably went and did the Tibia Mariner. He knows he's way ahead in Liurnia.
Wait, Ratty, can you stop talking for a second? I think Tanner has your audio up.
He knows he's way ahead in Liurnia.
Wait, Ratty, can you stop talking for a second? I think Tanner has your audio up. Wait, no, is this on me? This could be on me.
All right, let's not fuck this up then, I guess.
That was on me. My bad. My bad.
Shared
my
chat
bad.
feature, yeah. You're good.
Yeah.
So I just tell Tanner exactly what Shaka
I thought
doing
Tanner,
right
I've done that before in Rando Ring. I had Ginger's broadcast up on my stream accidentally. I wasn't watching it, but chat could hear it. And they were like, whose? Are you cheating, big dog? I was like, no, I just fucked up.
All right. And now we see Tanner heading into Red Wolf. This is a fight that most people go into over leveled. It's a bingo fight that can be difficult. He did upgrade Stormhawk, so this should be pretty easy for him. But Red Wolf can cause incidents. You're pretty much two-shot, occasionally one-shot if you come in here without leveling big. You can see the leveled weapon is giant damage. Oh, this is a dangerous spot to be in right here.
Nice.
Beautiful strafes. Finishes the fight. This is going to put Tanner ahead on imbued sword keys and Topps Academy key. He'll get one imbued sword key, the Academy key here. I imagine we'll see him return that. And Shaka heading for Fort Ferrith. I like this move a lot. This is setting up the Dectus lift with half your Dectus medallion. This will also get you 7,500 runes, which is pretty nice early game.
Yeah.
And Radagon Sorasil, which the stat buff on that, I mean, Radagon Sorasil is just one of the best items to have in Bingo, I think.
Yeah. Tanner here needs to be careful to kill this archer, otherwise it will shoot him off the ladder.
Yep. And he is aware of that. He's learned that lesson the hard way several times, I believe. But if you do not kill this archer he's walking up to, you will not make it up the ladder right here.
All right, so where's the key?
Beautiful moves out of him.
I don't know.
Okay, so Tanner just asked
Can we
where the
get a
key
girth
is.
command?
He says he doesn't know where it is.
You know, I've definitely shown him several times where it is, but that's okay. He just
The
ignores my teachings.
disappointment on your face.
It happens a lot. I've shown him a lot of squares, and then every time he gets in a game, he's like, how do I do this? Brother, please, just listen to me. Actual comedy.
That's the imbued key. Close.
At the very least, he has that. Sorasil for Shaka. That'll help him a lot. Once he finds Stormhawk, he won't need any stats to get it online.
All right, there we go.
Tanner did find the key. Let's go.
I think. Do you think he might have just been playing dumb for content?
There's a good chance. Or he kind of knew where it was and just asked to double check.
Yeah. All right, so Tanner will go ahead and return Tops' key. Shaka goes back to Third Church to get the Physic and the Sacred Tear.
And the power of the diagonal squares we talked about is it makes 3 possible bingo threats. You have a row, a column, and a diagonal. Tanner's in a good position to block all 3 of those here from the Deathroot square. He'll get Topps Academy key for the row, imbued sword keys for the diagonal, and if Shaka doesn't get into Liurnia, he'll also get Cleanse the Frenzy Flame Tower, most likely.
We'll check in with Shaka to see what he thinks of this mark.
So he started at Topps Academy key, so he has Renala. Alright. But if he rushes that, I mean, whatever.
Oh, hello, James.
Yeah, he's being an ass and demanding attention. He's been going crazy this entire game. He's excited for the Super Bowl.
As he should be. Enjoy the Super Bowl, young James. All right. Shaka pushing Altis pretty heavily. I think it's a really good move on this board. Radon's going to be pretty big with Glovewort Bell Bearings there. Just progression in Kaled will be good in general. You've got Kaled Dragon Barrel Boss, Sorcery Only, Raya's Hand, couple capital squares. Lion's Claw is also a Kaled square. It's pretty good progress here. I do think it'll be interesting to see if this ends up being more valuable or Liurnia. And
Looks like Tanner's going to the Frenzy Flame Tower, it looks like.
Frenzy Flame Tower first is honestly probably a good call.
Because you do take away, there is a lot here with the Altis progression, right? By just progressing towards Altis, you can get Raya's Hand and Frenzy Flame Tower along the way very quickly. Shaka is ahead on Altis because he's getting his medallions. But Tanner can take away some of the value of the early Altis push by taking the Frenzy Flame Tower away. Also, it is a big deal. Shaka has not found a Somber weapon yet to commit to for the game. Meanwhile, it looks like it will just be a Stormhawk game for Tanner.
Yeah. It's definitely a weapon you can settle on pretty early. Like, Stormhawk's maybe not the best weapon anymore due to receiving a couple nerfs, but it's more than usable.
Yeah, if you watched Bingo Brawlers Season 2, or Season 1 for that matter, Stormhawk was like one of the best weapons back then. It did get nerfed with the DLC. It's not as good now, but it's still very strong.
Yeah. We'll have to see here. I like what Tanner's doing a lot. I'm a little nervous he hasn't progressed outside of Liurnia. That kind of is one downside of like Top's Academy key. It's valuable to get the runes. You get to level up your weapon if you haven't done that yet, or you get a pretty significant start on your character early. Usually about 10 levels, somewhere in that range, I believe. But it's slow. It's a slow start.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Tanner getting the madness.
Have we seen I don't think we've seen a roundtable check from either player. Roundtable, so merchants, if they sell weapons, they will sell the same amount of weapons, but it can be any weapon. Because of that, roundtable sells a lot of weapons. It's a great check. We'll see what roundtable has. I assume Shaka will be checking that fairly quickly here.
Yeah. I understand Tanner committing to Stormhawk early, but you do kind of want to see that check. Especially if he's going to take the time to go level up Stormhawk before doing Red Wolf. Like, you've essentially lost the Red Wolf race, if it is a race.
Yeah. Well, Stormhawk is great here for clearing the Frenzy Flame Tower, because you can just get up here and press L2. And nicely done by Tanner.
Beautiful.
So that's all I do for that square,
Yes, mark the square.
I guess?
Dude. Yeah, he's online. Something.
There we go. And now imbued sword keys will get him better map progression. And also he could go do Scion to finish it off here after he gets the imbued sword keys.
Shaka also did correctly realize that Tanner has something and is online. So that tells Shaka, hey, there's probably a weapon either in Axe check, in Halberd check, or in Round Table. These are kind of the little things that you pick up on with bingo experience. And are really important because Shaka knows Tanner's routing. He knows he's been active in Liurnia, and he also knows that he got a weapon. So the places where he could have potentially got a weapon are pretty limited. It's going to be in one of those three spots.
Definitely. And at this point in the game, 20-something minutes in, you start to get a little nervous. Shaka hasn't done many checks, though.
Yeah.
So, like, you can stay comfortable, but it is always a little nerve-wracking when you don't have a weapon online as you start to get like a quarter of the way through the match.
Yeah, by 30 minutes, if you don't have a +4 Somber is when you should start to get pretty concerned. Obviously, it is board dependent, right? But at 30 minutes, if I don't have a +4 Somber, I'm like, oh, I'm well behind.
Yeah. Especially when you're down 2 squares, really or down 1 square. The only thing Shaka really has right now in terms of advantage is map progression, I would say. He's behind in Liurnia, but I think he's at least progressed everywhere else pretty well. He's obviously ahead on Altus too, which is always big. I wonder if Tanner will just grab the imbued sword key and leave, or if he'll set up Fort Feroth as well.
I think he should set up Feroth, especially like even though he does have Source Seal is probably the best item in bingo because A, it's not randomized. And B, it increases your stats a lot. You get +5 health, strength, dex, and endurance. Even though Tanner has his weapon online, getting those extra stats is going to be more damage. Also, he'll have more endurance, so he can put on more armor and have, attack more, roll more. Plus, who doesn't like extra health?
Yeah. It's a nice benefit. Source Seal gives you 5 extra levels of VIG. I assume most of you know that, but that it also makes you take, I think it's 15% more damage.
Yes.
I want to say. So, but that is a net positive until you get to about 38 VIG, somewhere in that region. 40 generally is the cutoff people call. It's a little earlier than that, but
yeah, and it does depend on a few things too, right? Because with the extra endurance, you can put on extra armor. So there's a trade-off, but at early weapon level, it doesn't matter. You want the Source Seal.
No.
Shaka does do a round table check, and the weapons are quite pitiful. There are 2 torches.
Hey, torches do good poise damage,
They do break stance very well. Shaka's going to do an incant check here for Liurnia boss incants only.
Oh, I like that. That can be a very free square. If Corrin has heal, Revenant is...
There is a heal. Shaka, what's the heal? That might be... I can't tell which heal that is.
It looked like a big heal.
Yeah. There was also Flame Sling, which is just the fireball. That's very good as well for Erdtree avatars.
Just go use that in Erdtree avatar. Even Cleaner at Night. It's not awful.
Which Cleaner at Night would be great with night bosses.
True.
And depending on the weapon you
synergy.
use, if you are using a multi-hit weapon, you can get the Winged Sword insignia there. So if you have a multi-hit weapon, that's a big buff.
Yeah, 100%. Something like the Falx we saw last match would do really well with that.
We're going to see a Kale check as well here from Shaka.
Interesting he's not pushing the Axe check.
The Axe check has fallen out of favor a bit. I don't see players doing the Axe check as much anymore.
I think it's very easy to justify in this board if you recognize I need to eventually get to Volcano Manor. Because you may feel at this point, I lost Rhea, so I don't really need to go in there. But there's still a lot of value to be pulled out later in the game if you can get to Schoolhouse Classroom.
And it looks like Shaka is not going to do Axe check. I think he's just going to commit to the smithing route.
Oh, no.
I mean, I don't hate it. Honestly, the Great Epee is good. Impaling Thrust is a very strong Ash of War. If you get it upgraded, it's going to do a lot of work. It probably will be better than like a plus 12 Great Epee is probably better than a plus 4 Stormhawk. Also, since it is a smithing weapon, you can infuse it. You could put Hoarfrost Stomp on it. That being said, if you do put Hoarfrost Stomp on it, you'd be losing out on Impaling Thrust, which is very, very strong.
Definitely. It is also... I don't know. Because there's Somber +9 on the board, you can really easily justify getting a +5 and 6 early. So I just don't know if the smithing route is what I would want to do on this board. It's also kind of an awkward board for getting a Somber 6. Oh, no, I guess...
Bloodhound Fang. Shaka found Bloodhound Fang. He checked the merchant to go do his smithing checks and got Bloodhound Fang.
Oh, no. That's
huge.
It's a weapon you do not see a lot. That is obviously a very good weapon. It depends on how familiar you are with it. It's a curved greatsword, though, with bleed, so like it's going to be good if you're not super familiar with the Ash of War. It's most useful if you know how to use the iframes in the Ash of War unlocked. But also there was a Colossal there. I believe Moonrithal Knight Sword.
Yeah, it was either Moonrithals or Trolls. They look the exact same, so it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't see Bloodhound's Fang as often in Bingo because curved greatsword checks are not as good. There's only 2 good curved greatswords, Bloodhound's Fang and Zamor's. And also there's a weird quirk of the randomizer. For some reason you cannot, we've tried to fix it, but it's just a weird thing with Elden Ring randomizers. You cannot get vanilla weapons for the most part from the vanilla drop. So like if you kill Darrowwill, it's almost impossible to get Bloodhound's Fang there.
Yeah, that one specifically, I think, as far as we've tested, is impossible. There are exceptions, like 1 in every 300 times Magmorm and Kaled will drop Moonveil. Like, they're very rare exceptions, and it doesn't seem like it's all bosses. That's going to be a big difference maker, though. Especially on a boss like Noble, once they get there.
Tanner going for the... Tanner's killing this Erdtree avatar, the Putrid avatar.
What's his reasoning here?
Memory of Grace for 50k.
Probably. Pick an easy
I'm
boss.
So locked. I'm literally so fucking locked.
Bit of a weird square to get.
I've never been
unless
this
he
locked
just
before in my
feels
entire
like
life.
I can hold imbued sword keys, which he probably does. Which is kind of a crazy move, but I like it. So for some of the people in my chat, maybe a little more unfamiliar with Bingo, Tanner has what we call priority on imbued sword keys. So because he did Topps Academy key, Shaka knows he's got at least one key, probably the key that takes the longest to get. And at that point, when you know your opponent has an advantage on a square, you're generally not going to push it. So Tanner now, knowing, like, he knows Shaka knows he's ahead, he can take a minute and say, all right, like, I don't need to do this right now, even though I'm almost done with the square. I can wait and do other stuff and get it later and use my time better, right?
It looks like Shaka is going to go ahead and get into Altus. He's progressing Raya's hand right now.
I like that move. Raya's hand is just such a nice square in terms of if you're going to skip Raya Lucaria to get into Volcano Manor.
This is a sketchy spot for Tanner. He's now on some weird terrain after getting the Elden Stars Jr. twice in a row.
Oh no!
Tanner.
He's not pleased.
Death to an avatar.
That's fine.
Yeah, he did the universal.
We'll go
Hold up the
finish it up on
controller.
the
I
square.
pressed circle there. My favorite.
Well, I
movement.
think because he dropped down, it like threw off his character. You saw he strafed one attack by dropping off a ledge, and that's what I was immediately worried about. In that part of the arena, there's like little ledges you can drop down after you fall. Sometimes you can get stuck in an animation, you can't roll. I think he just misrolled, if I'm being honest, but I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt and blame terrain.
A good question from someone's chat here. Since both of them mostly cleared Liurnia, why not go to the Black Knife Catacombs? I assume you're talking about by the Erd Tree Avatar and Vike. That is a very valuable catacomb on this board in particular because you get a Black Knife Assassin and a Cemetery Shade, right? So like obviously a 2-for-1 there. The problem with it is it's scaled relatively high. That's probably the worst arena for a Black Knife, in my opinion. You can correct me if you disagree, but most of the other Black Knives are easier or in a better arena.
Yeah, I think it would be good for Shaka to go there, especially because he already has one Black Knife dead. Shaka's problem is he doesn't have Bloodhound's Fang online yet. And for Tanner, I think I didn't really love the Avatar play, but I think he just has other plays available that he's looking at, right? Shaka hasn't marked anything in a bit, so Tanner might be looking to finish his plate doing Imbued Keys and Scion here.
Yeah, that's what Tanner's doing. It also, that Cemetery Shade is probably the worst of the 3 you can choose initially because it spawns with skeleton archers.
It is very low scaled, actually. According to Snowy as well as the wiki, that Cemetery Shade actually has less health than the one in Weeping.
Oh. Something I'll have to consider in the future. But yeah, Tanner's best play right now is just finishing Imbued Sword Keys into Scion. It'll put him up 4-1. It blocks every bingo threat Shaka has on his one square. Like, this is just objectively his best move right now. You don't want to hold on to this for too long because these squares are not hard to get necessarily. And he doesn't know what Shaka's been doing. Like, the Memory of Grace with 50k is really good if he gets it there because then he can also go do this. And that's like making pretty good bingo threats.
Yeah, there's Imbued Keys for Tanner.
He will grab the Grace here. We saw his earlier Scion fight. I think you can tell he's a bit uncomfortable with it.
I don't know what you're talking about. I think he's perfect in every way.
All right, dude.
Tanner is the task for bingo, quite honestly.
No, that's fair. He's pretty much a AI playing bingo.
Exactly. All right, Tanner is going to go ahead and fight the Grafted Scion, so we'll go full screen with him. Oh, he said my name. I didn't hear the shit talk beforehand, though.
As he should.
I wonder if the L2 staggers, micro staggers. Dude, I'm not fucking dodging.
I can
Dodges
hear
for
Tanner
bitches.
screaming above me.
Yeah, he said
I'm a
he's doesn't want to dodge on this fight.
What the fuck is he?
I mean, that pretty Tanner move. All right, he's chosen to stand up. My goat. Establishing dominance here. Oh, actually good dodges there on the spinning top move. You know, he's feeling himself. That's what you like to see. That's the confidence you want out of your players, dude.
Oh, dude.
That's a beautiful thing. Honestly, a pretty excellent start for Tanner.
Yeah.
All things considered.
I like how you can hear Tanner screaming in real time because you're in the same house.
Yeah, it was pretty great there. I turned on the audio. It kind of sucks to have my voice playing back, but I'd hear him scream. I'd hear him scream on his stream, and then I'd hear him scream here. It was a pretty great experience if you were me.
All right, Shaka does have his Bloodhound's Fang online. You know, Tanner's really shutting down this board very nicely. There's only a few bingo threats even available to Shaka. Shaka has the bottom left to top right diagonal. Shaka has row 3, column 3, and then column 5. So only 4 bingos available to Shaka. Meanwhile, Tanner has 9 bingos available. Basically the entire world is his oyster at this point. But Shaka is now set up with the +4 Bloodhound's Fang, and I think it's going to be time for him to get to work.
Yeah, that diagonal is actually pretty devastating because one of those cemetery shades can be the Dragon Barrel boss sorcery only. It almost always is. And you're right by Radon after you do that. That only leaves Shackles and Colossal Armaments only. Shaka could be looking at that idea right now.
I don't know,
And
man.
I think that's not something maybe Tanner will necessarily see right now either. I think that was something actually both of us hadn't really mentioned up until now, but that diagonal is really strong.
Tanner's going after Renala now.
Pretty good move. Oh, one phase.
Yep, reads it and gets it.
And now the waiting game. How do you get Renala to summon 4 times? Not 4 unique summons, just 4 summons. But this can be a bit of a stally square. He has a big enough health bar to not really worry about it though. We'll take the riposte here. And she'll be summoning now. It's just a matter of how much.
Yeah, the square was changed from 4 unique summons to 4 summons just to reduce the impact of RNG, right? Obviously there is always RNG, but you can be
Right,
waiting here for
pussy.
minutes just trying to get the 4th summon. Or 4th unique summon.
Yeah, it's a little more consistent when it's just 4 summons at least.
All right, so that's one.
I mean, it is generally 4 unique summons, but when it's not, it can be really frustrating. So I like that change to this square. And I mean, I think there's an inherent piece of bingo. It's obviously we've tried to make it as competitive as possible. Or playing with a weapon randomizer. Like at the end of the day, there is some luck in RNG involved. Like you can check specific checks. You can do your best to mitigate that.
What are we doing?
But that is a piece of the game, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes it really fun is each game you play is unique. There's like what, over 120 squares that can be on this board. The weapons are random. Like there is an element of thinking on your feet and trying to figure stuff out as you play that's really fun.
Yeah. And there is RNG like with the weapon checks that if you are an experienced player, you can manipulate it in your favor, right? By routing in good checks. But like Renala RNG is just...
This one takes so fucking long.
Yeah, this is one of the
luck.
pieces
Yeah.
that's tough.
Tanner's at
Rise
3
hand.
summons now.
Marked by Shaka. And really just not a valuable square. He has it, so he might as well claim it, but it does not do a whole lot for him here. Outside of maybe blocking that row 2.
Well, he does just get a square on the board. It's nice to see the ball go
So
through the hoop,
directly
right?
after she
Yep,
summons the
100%.
4th one, I imagine I could kill her.
I do agree with that. And
Who's
he had it
the
set
ruling on
up. I
this?
mean, it's free. It
I know
sets
you're
up
watching me.
Volcano Manor for the future.
Tanner, you can kill her after she does the 4th summon.
Dragon's taking its
Who's-
sweet time to get out of here.
Show the crowd your forehead.
Get the
For
4th
me.
summon out of this Comet Azure.
No, Tanner, I will
mention.
not show my forehead.
I'm just gonna kill her. She summoned 4 times. That counts. I have no idea.
Forehead reveal is 1 million points on Twitch.
Ow! Ow! Ow!
Here we go. Tanner about to get
Don't
his
choke, Tanner. Don't choke. Don't
5th square.
choke.
Really good start here.
Not the nuts!
All right, it looks like
Uh-oh.
Shaka is going for Godskin Noble. He can combo this with Memory of Grace at 50k.
And go get Bloodhound's Fang up to +9.
Gotta restart.
Which will be a huge advantage for the
Dude,
rest of
come
the
here.
match. If you asked any player if they want a +9 Bloodhound's Fang or a +4 Stormhawk Axe, I think we all know what they'd prefer.
Yeah. Tanner does get the square here, though.
Very close to 50K. Damn, dude. He's so...
And actually,
Well,
Shaka looks
actually-
like just...
Tanner should Memory of Grace
Oh,
after
night-
here with the
night
Renala
bosses,
runes
yeah.
plus the Remembrance. You can Mog all day.
Yeah, and you actually do need to grab this Grace after Renala. Or else when you teleport into Rhea, you'll get shot up here. Come on, Tanner.
Tanner does Memory of Grace.
That's a beautiful play.
6-2 lead for Tanner.
He's
The
playing a
bingo-
really good game.
Yeah, the bingo shows up against it right now.
That diagonal's still on the board for Shaka. And that is a really powerful counterplay here, but that did take Shaka's options down to just 2 bingos. He can get a pretty significant weapon advantage though, and take care of a lot of the late game better. I don't think Tanner will go Volcano Manor. I think Tanner is probably going to try to avoid that.
Yeah, it might be a Semshade race here.
We will see. Tanner could also just be pushing. I don't think he grabbed the Fort Height Dectus half. Oh, he's also gonna... Is he gonna kill Yura here?
No.
Oh, Tanner.
Yeah, it is just straight up a Semshade race. And I think their Kaled progress is pretty even, right?
Yeah. I think Shaka's gonna have to go from Fort Feroth. And Tanner's going to have to go from Celia, so he's maybe a little closer to Rodon and the Simshade there. But that's like, we're talking 15, 20 seconds probably. Maybe a little more than that.
Oh no, Tanner's going for Bloodhound Knight as a night boss.
Interesting. He might be looking at that column 4 there.
Tanner does like
Or
to rush
even-
bingos. It is the name of the game.
Dumbass.
I mean, row 4 is pretty hard to stop
Alright,
if he
there's
goes
one
and gets
night
exaltation
boss.
after this. And he doesn't need a leveled weapon or anything.
Bloodhound Knight got lit up there.
Yeah, I mean, just press L2 and win with Stormhawk Axe, especially early in the game, right?
That is the name of Elden. That's how you play Elden Ring. You just simply press L2.
Yeah,
Get broken weapon, press L2. Win.
simple strategy, and they both have that right now.
Yeah. I'm excited to see Shaka use Bloodhound's Fang. It's been a while since I've seen Bloodhound's Fang in a bingo game.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I saw it in a game. It might be enough of a difference to get him back in this too, for sure. Everything he kills is going to be faster.
Also, if you're just joining in, Shaka did not have an incident. Tanner's just had a better idea with the start. And
Tanner-
Shaka did take longer to get a weapon online. Tanner just actually routed and played more efficiently.
The Church of Bushy strikes again. Me and Tanner were both told very much early on, Red Wolf is your best starting idea if it's on the board. Which isn't necessarily true anymore with the square changes that have been made. But in general, I think the theory behind it's very sound. Get enough runes for a weapon. If there's any other Rhea, you have progress. Like you're in Liurnia, which is always good. It just takes a little longer. And with the square set changes, that can be a bit of a disadvantage on some boards now. I think it was actually oppressively good in previous square sets.
Yeah. I mean, with every
But-
square set, right, the meta's going to change a little bit.
Yeah, there's always going to be something that's really good.
Shaka's going to go in here and fight the Black Knife. Need to wait for his raid alert to go away, though, because... Or not the Semshade. I'm worried about DMCI, so I need to wait for his raid alert to go away.
Smart. Oh no.
What's up?
Nope. He's not done.
Good quit out by Shaka.
Good quit out there.
My goat.
Tanner's now getting Dectus online.
Cemetery show, so hang on.
And
Oh
here we
my
go.
God.
There is a backstab loop.
No way.
Backstab loop for Cemetery Shades. Oh my gosh.
I missed time to do. All right, Raiders, welcome in, guys. Yeah, we're
So unlucky.
getting our butts handed to us right now. Torsadz found the Bloodhound's Fang way earlier than I did, so
Here we go. Attempt 3. Third time's the charm, like Mom always used to say. Using the pillar to your advantage there. I actually like to do that too. Dodging that can be a little sketchy. So the Cemetery Shade has a beautiful thing where when he teleports to the side of the arena, occasionally he'll just stop trying to attack you and just start walking in a random direction. Looks like Shaka's kind of waiting for that. There we go. There it is. Yeah, he just don't care anymore. And then right here, you can just like turn around behind him. Shaka will do the beautiful thing and hit the L2 though. We love that. Oof.
Nicely done
And
there,
there it
Shot.
is. I see a suggestion in chat of Tanner going for Shackles to shut down the board. Shackles is a late game square. That's something you cannot do early. So the requirements to get Shackles are obviously you get Margit Shackle and Moog Shackle. But Moog Shackle is in the capital. So you first have to kill 2 Great Rune bosses to get to capital to unlock it. Then you have to kill DTS. Then you have to run all the way down to the sewers.
Yeah.
Which is quite the time investment, and if Torsadz were just to go do that, he would lose his lead almost certainly. It's a good square for him, but it needs to be the last square he gets on maybe like row 4 or something for it to be a reasonable idea.
Yeah. Shaka here, he is progressing towards Radon in the shade. It's going to be tight because Tanner's already in Altus. If Shaka was to somehow get sorcery only plus the shade and then kill Radon, that diag's really strong.
Yeah. The only way to stop it if we get there is Torsadz could go sorcery only before him. Oh, Shaka with the death.
Yeah, he went for a weird skip there and died.
I'm uncertain what that was.
Well, he's trying to do the little thing where you run down to get to you run down that little slope to get to whatever Gallery Shack. It's a little bit slow. I don't know why he was going for it though, because if he is going for Radon, that is a little bit slower routing anyways, and it did kill him.
Yeah, you can just run straight off the back there. Like you can just run pretty much straight south from here and jump off the cliffs at the end. A very common no-hit route to get to Radon as well. It's very safe.
Tanner might be looking at Treecent Duo here because he's progressing deep into Altus. Outside of the capital square, I don't think there's much here other than Treecent Duo, right?
No, there's Treecent Duo.
There was Apostle, but that's the other way.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe just setting it up for the future. I would not love to see him do Treecent Duo right now. I think Column 3 is pretty rough to push. Oh, Shaka, not again. All right, looks like he
gets
survived.
it. All right,
Yeah,
looks
I think
Tanner is going for the duo, so we'll go full screen with him.
The damage looking.
Not even grabbing the grace too. Just
I don't think he's nervous here.
don't be scared, homie.
Yeah, just do it. The damage is a little worse than you would hope,
Ow.
but it's not awful.
Do you get that?
Yes.
Roddy, I know you watch UFC. Did you get that reference or no?
What'd you say? Sorry, no.
Don't
I
be
missed
scared, homie.
Oh no, you missed me with that one. Sorry, boss.
That was
Nick
striking,
Diaz
bro.
back in the day. Someone was asking him about he was nervous about the fight, and he just said, "Don't be scared, homie."
Yeah, if Tanner can pull this off, like not grabbing the grace isn't an issue, but I think the play as a whole is maybe. It just seems. I don't see as much value in it. That diagonal's really dangerous, and I'm nervous that he hasn't recognized it yet.
He's gonna bail for the grace.
Yeah.
I'm sucking ass right now.
I think Tanner could, like, he's ahead 6-2 right now, but he could be in a lot of danger here in the next 10 to 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
This could end up going really poorly for him. Because Shaka can get Sim Shades and Dragon Barrow sorceries at the same time, right?
Dude,
Also,
that-
you-
that-
Yeah, the
you
boss
can-
sorcery cylinder.
Whatever.
You can see Stormhawk, while it is very strong early, by the time you get to Altus, it doesn't scale incredibly well. And his damage here isn't great. That being said, he's also not using the Ash,
Stagger, please.
so he's losing a bit of damage on that.
Brother.
Yeah. You could use it right here if he wants. He might be saving it for... No, there we go. That's my boy.
What?
It's my boy.
Well, your boy died.
That's my boy.
That's
Still my boy. Oh, my boy. My son. No. All right, hopefully he pivots out here. That actually could be a good thing to happen.
Yeah, looks like he's going to bail.
I think he is looking entirely at row 4.
Now, one thing is, if Shaka just does go straight for this Shade is by far the best Caelid boss to do sorcery only. So if he doesn't go get the sorcery, he could kind of lock himself out of this square. Not literally, but effectively.
Yeah. Road to the Manor. I wonder where he's pivoting to.
He's upgrading his... I think his Bloodhound's Fang was not fully upgraded.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, yeah. It was only +2.
+4.
He had the stones, but he couldn't afford it. He was a broke boy.
Yeah, Shock is actually going to not lock himself out of the diagonal, but it's going to be very hard to complete if he just goes and kills this Shade.
Mm-hmm. You can do sorcery only on other bosses. The Falling Star Beast works. If you get Night Maiden's Mist, the Putrid Avatar is a great option. The one in Caelid, not the Dragon Barrel one.
Any flame spells, such as Magma Shot,
Yeah.
would work very well as well on that Putrid Avatar. I didn't know Night Maiden's Mist was good there. That's an interesting fact.
Yeah, because the reason why it's good is because the Avatar doesn't really move. So he just stands in the mist.
That makes sense.
Shaka does get
getting
rotted, but it's not the end of the world. If you die, there's a stake right here. Also,
Yeah.
you kind of just want to loop it. Tanner's continuing going for night bosses. He's going to go... We're going to have 2 boss fights in the same screen. Tanner will be going for the Crucible Knight in Limgrave on the left, and Shaka's going for the Cemetery Shade in Caelid on the right.
Shock managing to dodge the goop there. Beautiful. Meanwhile, I think Tanner has quite a bit of practice on these Crucible Knights.
Oh,
so-
and Shaka goes down.
Are you not? Do the thing.
He was
That'll
low
happen.
because of the
Jesus.
rot and got one shot.
Yeah, the rot just makes that a really annoying fight. And Stormhawk back to being good again because we're in Limgrave. You love to see it.
Oh, is that a stam? I think.
That's just chunking health. This will be a pretty quick fight. Lost the buff, but I don't think that really matters here. And that'll be 2
Dude,
night
I'm
bosses for
fucking
Tanner, I
pressing it.
believe.
Yeah,
Getting the backstab. He probably could have iframed there, but it's always a risky move. This should be it. Yeah.
the fucking lag. I'm pretty sure there is another Bloodhound Knight in Liurnia.
Oh, that makes me nervous for Shaka. That could have been a little bit of stronger play, but I do understand just getting the center square. You shut down, you know. He also would have to worry about that right top right to bottom left diagonal. Honed Bolt. Not Lightning Spear, but the strike that moves kind of forward. Lightning Strike.
Sorry, chat.
It
I
wouldn't
realized
be-
I was muted. I asked if the lightning strike incant that Tanner got would be bingo viable.
It wouldn't be great. It would not be my first option. It wasn't one I used much. I was trying to break the game, so I didn't use stuff that was bad, and that kind of fell in that category. So, like, it'd be risky. I think Clean Rot Knight, it might be usable, simply because, like, it's on a watery surface, so you get the 10% damage buff.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's bingo viable. If something had a longer hitbox, perhaps, you'd get more hits in. I believe it works that way, much like a Pest Threads or Honed Bolt can work that way on tall enemies, right? So something with a bigger hitbox that might be effective against maybe an Avatar, actually.
Tanner's going for Radon. Shaka is...
Yeah, Tanner recognized the threat a little bit here. Also, this will get him into capital.
Are Knights Cavalry on the board? No?
No, there's no...
And Knights Cavalry are not a Knight boss because it's N-I-G-H-T, not K-N-I-G-H-T.
Unfortunately. Maybe he was thinking about that and had to pivot out.
You might also... Maybe it could be the Black Knife and Limgrave.
He could be thinking about running up there. Trying to think about which way's fastest. Or do we see the pivot to Tree Scent Duo?
I don't think
You can also go Apostle.
Yeah. I think Shaka needs to find a block on row 2. Like the row 4 and column 2 look very scary.
Yeah, I think it's a little unfortunate he didn't go Radon because it made the diagonal and column 5 really good.
Yeah, Shaka's best counterplay in this situation might have just been to ignore Tanner's threats and try to force his own diag.
I think so. I think he's only down 6-3, right?
Well, it looks like he's going Radon too. No, go Radon. I want a Radon race. Damn it. He thought about it.
Yeah, this is... Radon is probably the most important square on the board at this point.
Okay, he's going for it. He's going for it. He wanted to grab an extra golden seed first.
Smart. It's going to push your capital access. It's going to get you to your Dragonkin Soldier, your Glovewort Bell Bearing.
Yeah.
It'll give you enough runes to do sorcery only or incants only with some, like a little bit of a higher level spell, right? Which Shaka kind of needs at this point with the Cemetery Shade dead.
Shaka needs the square. If Tanner gets the square off him, Shaka's in deep shit.
He's in a little bit of trouble, for sure.
Tanner does stop to upgrade his not Bloodhound Swing, Stormhawk Axe to +5, because there is a Somber 5 right behind Jaren.
I like that move. I generally skip it, but Stormhawk Axe is not great on Radon. This is like the point in the game where it kind of falls off. So getting the extra level should help. Getting the extra flasks should help. If Shaka was a speedrunner, I believe +4 Bloodhound's Fang Radon is fully scripted.
I think you need Golden Vow.
You need Golden Vow for it? Okay, that makes sense.
Shaka does grab the +5. Does he go and upgrade? Okay, he does. So Tanner's actually going to be in the lead here.
Ooh, he's going to be in a pretty significant lead, too. There will be a damage difference will favor Shaka pretty heavily.
Yeah, I think you also do need Blood Grease.
Yep.
The script.
I think it's Frost Grease, actually. One of the two.
I don't think you get Frost. Well, I don't think you get Frost. It's Blood Grease.
Okay.
Zeno had me run that a little bit, and I never got Frost Grease. The only greases that I used from Zeno, is like a sub-hour speedrunner, and he was teaching me how to do it. The only greases I used were I crafted Blood Grease, and then I used the Magic Grease that you get in Capital. But that being said, it doesn't matter anymore, because Death Poker is now the best way to speedrun Elden Ring. All right, we'll go full screen with Tanner. Tanner probably has one clean shot at this before Shaka gets in the fight, unless it is very slow.
Yeah. And for as much as he plays through, Tanner's obviously a challenge runner. He plays through all Remembrances. I think it's been getting a lot better, but both Radons are by far his weakest bosses.
All right, do the good opening.
So this could be an issue, but we'll see. He does know how to do this fight. And the damage, not exceptional, but not cringeworthy.
Oh, hey, Poppy.
Does get hit there, takes the safe heal versus trying to get another charged R2 in, which he could have done. It's hit again. That dragging swing does tend to get people. It's kind of hard to read unless you're just very familiar with it.
No stagger?
Did not dodge in front, so he
Shaka's now entering the fight.
Say, dude.
But yeah, Tanner's And he's through phase 1, but he's getting tagged.
He's getting tagged a lot. And
Does have a lot of heals, though.
Has a lot of heals, but I don't think he did enough damage or has enough damage to finish phase 2 fast enough that Radon doesn't start doing some of the more unique moves, throwing the meteors, doing the drill, etc.
Shaka's now in the fight as well.
That being said, as long as Tanner doesn't have any significant issue, I think he's far enough ahead to just finish the fight. It's going to be a tough snipe.
Yeah, but that is true. Radon just gets scary in phase 2 because he hits a lot harder and has some extra attacks that are a lot harder to dodge.
Yep. And Tanner not willing to risk the weapon buff, which I understand.
Oh, Shaka got clocked there, tried to heal, but had his Kukri out and accidentally threw a Kukri and goes down. So Tanner has this uncontested as long as he can finish the fight.
Yep. This would be big. All right. See how Tanner deals with the meteors.
This attack is tricky.
What he does here. He might just heal through it. Oh,
Nicely done, Tanner.
Almost there. One more hit.
There's a wave. I don't know how he dodged that.
Alright, he should be able to get in right here. Oh, gets tagged again. He's out of heals. He's gonna just have to greed. Let's go.
Oh, Grid RNG gets it. This is a devastating snipe.
That's fine. Fuck me, Torsadz.
And Shaka goes down. He might just pivot out here, right?
Yeah.
Let's get our black knife.
Yeah, it's tough to know what to do if you're in Shaka's position now. That you really needed that square.
Mm-hmm. Because now Shaka has no bingos left.
Nope. Board is locked down for Shaka, which is in 7 squares. That's really good.
Yeah.
Tanner, I think, actually prioritized that a bit more than his bingos. He really is playing a little outside of what I would normally expect him to play like. And there's 40 Vig as well. It is going to be hard for him to die.
Yeah. If you want to go fast, step 1 is don't die.
Yep.
All right, now Recent duo for Tanner. Shaka is going to go try to clean up Black Knives, but he's really up against it here.
For the most part, I think.
And Tanner's at the point where nowadays just like C square, get square.
Yeah.
He has enough of a lead that he can kind of afford to do whatever.
You got business.
It's not going to hurt him. And like, this doesn't do much. Like, if he was really prioritizing making Shaka's like difficult, he could push some bingo threats and force Shaka into squares that take a while. He doesn't need to do that, right? He can just go get squares.
I hate this fight so goddamn much.
Most likely.
Stop running away.
The biggest issue is going to be Shaka still has a lot more damage and can kill bosses faster.
Yeah.
So Tanner is going to be getting probably squares at a bit of a slower clip than Shaka. And only down 4, that can make a difference.
I don't get why that fucking hits me, man.
Yeah, it's just really tough because when you have a bingo threat available, like the biggest thing is, even if you're just playing for majority, you can push your opponent into shitty squares, right? But Shaka has no ability to do that anymore.
Oh my god!
Tanner is getting kegged up a bit by the first recent.
I'm dead.
Tanner's not having a good time.
No. I do hear, 2 Tanners.
I didn't know he could. That was the high. I did not expect his scream to be that high pitched.
Why am I the way I am?
Oh, Jesus.
Water.
Not happy, in case you couldn't tell.
He slams his desk, knocks over his water, and has to get up to clean it.
He's got
This
the
is
paper
what
towels
Shaka
ready.
needs. This is what Shaka needs. One death
Up
and he crashes out.
7-3. Up 7-3 and crashing out on a death is crazy.
Alright, Shaka's going for Apostle.
Not a bad square to get. Take away some of that Altus value.
What am I doing? Oh my god, just fucking kill me. And my
Honestly,
life.
Tree Cent Duo incident here out of Tanner. Huge for Shaka.
Shaka just set up the Apostle. I think he's actually going for the Altus Black Knife.
I don't hate
It's
either
fucking
option.
Tree
E
Both good
Cent.
options, honestly, for him.
Yeah, because Shaka needs to. He
I'm
can't
literally
greed.
so beef caked up.
He needs to greed like square synergies, right? And just juice as much as he can.
It needs prep and square synergy, right? So like
Yeah.
prepping Apostle, sick. Now I can go back to it, and like that can be a quick mark after I get something else, which is great move. I think Volcano Manor is still a pretty good move for him.
Tanner needs to worry about the second Tree Cent.
I can't fucking see.
Yeah, if he keeps getting hit like this on the first one and just ignores that there's another one here.
Let me through the door.
Actually got in a
ladies.
lot of damage doing that though.
Dude, how do I fucking dodge that, please?
Damn, with the early dodge there. I heard him say, how the fuck do you dodge that? A couple seconds ago.
You just simply press the roll button at the right time, Tanner.
Yep. It's not hard. Gets the stagger. Not buffing his weapon up until right there is a little crazy. But I respect it. I respect the dog. There we go.
Nice roll.
Oh,
Dude,
gets
like
shield bashed.
It's so dumb.
Once Tanner kills his first Black Knife, we'll go check in with or Tanner kills the first Tree Cent, we'll check in with Shaka. All right.
Yeah, the second Tree Sentinel with the Torch is much easier to deal with.
Yep. Knock on wood, or in Tanner's case, bang on desk.
Yep.
This Black Knife really is a dance.
Yeah. They have weird moments where they don't stagger when you hit them. They're very quick and kind of jittery, I think is a good word.
Yeah.
But that backstab is free damage that you get pretty often. They do that. That's what I mean by jittery. Like every once in a while, they're just out of the way.
Yeah, they don't hit incredibly hard, but they hit a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to get comboed by 2 or 3 hits.
Yeah. Tanner here is retreating.
As he should, just try and get his heels off. He doesn't want to throw the fight.
Shaka misrolled, but barely outspaced that grab.
Little lucky, little skilled. Why not both, right?
Yeah, Shaka has plenty of heals. The problem is he has no help.
Yep. But this backstab will put a close on this fight.
Tanner's out of heals now against this Tree Cent.
Yeah, it will take 2 more hits to kill him.
Thankfully, the torch does literally no.
Hey,
No. Oh, that's so tough.
well, this is definitely one way.
Tanner somehow reset the Tree Sentinel by running away.
Unbelievable. My boy. It really sucks for Shaka because if he gets the Black Knife right there,
All
like
right, Tanner gets that
a lot
down.
of time on duo.
Yeah, and Tanner might be going Apostle now, so Shaka has to be quick on this Black Knife if he wants to win the Apostle square.
Yeah. And Black Knife's, I believe, one of the few enemies that don't bleed, so Bloodhound's Fang's still good here, but not
I think they
optimal.
bleed. Do they not bleed?
I think it's only Frost and Rot, I was told the other day. But I get my information from a variety of sources, and they could be false.
I mean, I believe it. No bleeds. Okay.
I trust Daco. It's a long run for Tanner. Shaka could have time here. He is just abusing the L2, which is what he
Shaka
needs
be
to
nimble.
do.
Shaka be quick. No, don't get hit by the death. Dust and death.
Puts you in a lot of danger. Seeing some panic rolling is fair.
No, this is calculated.
It's all part of the show. That jump attack is so good. He's just
No, he
getting
greeted the
lucky.
L2.
Oh,
No, Shaka, no, no.
Dude.
Oh, no. He's gonna lose Apostle. Tanner could have an issue here.
Lock in, brother.
+4 Stormhawk is not ideal.
All right.
Oh, it's +5.
Oh, it is +5. Never mind.
Now it's ideal.
Yeah, no. Now it's a
standing
perfect
there.
weapon. But I think, Stormhawk not being the greatest weapon at this point in the game is pretty offset by over 40 Vig. He will be able to just take hits. He has enough flasks leveled up enough that
Christ.
they're decent.
Yeah, he has 8 + 3 flasks. That's totally solid.
It looks like the flasks only heal about 1 hit's worth of health, actually.
Shaka's back in with the Black Knife. And great opener. Gets a backstab there. Tanner's entering phase 2 with the Apostle.
And the timing on this means if Shaka does go back to Apostle, it won't be too bad of a snipe. Got the
I
assassin
love
mode.
that jump attack, Shaka. So hot.
So
You're out of
good.
FP. Stop pressing L2. Shaka, just smack it. All right. Shaka gets the Black Knife down.
Let's go. Unfortunately, he will probably lose Apostle if he goes that direction, but he doesn't. Actually going back to Radon as Tanner finishes up this Apostle fight. We'll see here.
Boys.
Oh, gets the stagger and the finish. Not a great incant there. What was that? Shadow bait?
I've never heard of Shadow Bait.
That's gotta be some sort of... I think it's a DLC incant where you throw something and it moves enemies around. All if you like throw kukris to distract enemies. I believe it functions in a similar manner.
Okay, so Shaka is going back to Radon.
He kind of has to. That's how you're gonna get your glove war bell bearings, I guess. You're probably gonna need that square.
Yeah.
It gets you closer to Dragonkin, as opposed to going Shifra.
Shadow Bait creates a silhouette that draws aggro. Thank you.
Hey, there we go. Information secured. Tanner going all the way to DTS now. Might just go get Shackles. That does create a pretty brutal dual threat between Column 2 and
Yeah.
Row 4.
He can also get Somber 9 in the sewers.
Yep. He could be thinking that.
So Shaka did not level health after killing the Black Knife.
A little unfortunate, but should still be fine.
Shaka can and is summoning the boys.
The boys versus Radon. It should help a bit. It draws some attacks.
Okay, he died.
Okay, you know what? I misspoke.
Good damage.
Stormhawk,
Good damage.
still not great, but
good
actually better than I
damage.
thought on DTS. He's a little more resistant to lightning.
That's not a commentator's curse.
Yeah, we're talking about the boys, not Shaka. That can't be a commentator curse. Tanner's having a really clean fight so far. Phase
Okay,
2
Shaka's
DTS.
now going back for Noble.
Also not a bad move.
I mean, you gotta just get some squares and hope.
Yeah, get some blocks.
Hello?
Big damage there on DTS.
Now, this is the Super Bowl, and we could be seeing a 28-3 level comeback if Shaka wins
never
this
know.
game.
I mean, Tanner, as we've seen in some previous game, is very capable of throwing for about 30 minutes. I think that's when he's already crashing out and thinks he lost. I imagine here he's gonna. I mean, I don't know if we've seen him this locked in any of the Crucible matches.
He's played a great game.
He mostly plays for fun. I think, like, you know, not that he's not trying to win ever, but he's just having a good time. But he did seem a little more like, I really want to beat Shaka when I would talk to him about this match.
This one's Bloodsport.
Yeah. There's DTS.
Nice.
Nice shot by Tanner there.
Is being proactive enough that this shouldn't be as much of an issue.
Bloodfiend's
The-
arm.
Ooh. Time
If
to
you get
pivot?
the Arcane Talisman, you could maybe use that for Colossal only.
Honestly, yeah. Especially on Godric. Still just pushing Vig there. 46 for Torsadz.
Yeah. Tanner still has not been to Round Table, so he has the 2 shards, but needs to go to Round Table so he can enter Capital.
Yeah, I love the see Stormhawk and never do another weapon check strat out of him. That is just glorious.
Stormhawk
get
X,
it.
say less.
It's so close to being like that level of weapon.
It used
do
to be
like-
that level. Before the nerf, it
Yeah.
was that level.
I definitely like. I'm willing to play with Stormhawk any day, but I would want to throw in more weapon checks if I could finesse it. And actually, it's kind of a somber 9 race here. Like Shaka wants Noble, and that gets him to a +9, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, Chaka needs Noble.
Yeah. I don't know how good his Noble fight is. This is a fight that can give you a bit of fits.
It's Taz level.
I believe it.
Mm-hmm. I actually heard that Shaka taught Gino how to fight Noble.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
I actually heard Shaka taught Gino how to no-hit Elden Ring.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll see him going in here. Really good damage. Once we see the bleed proc here, I mean, it's gonna look pretty nasty.
Oh, you can't rotate? I thought I could rotate around it.
Oh no!
He just got smashed.
He got bonked on the noggin, I think,
Yeah.
is back there. I don't think that outright kills like that much big. Maybe the little shot.
Noble just said, "Sit down, son. Go back to the Grace and think about what you've done."
Right.
Is Tanner going for Exaltation Talisman in the sewers?
He definitely knows where it is better than most people do. It's good synergy. I don't know if he's gonna think of that though.
Because there's two ways to get it. You can either go for the Cumbug duo, like we saw last game, and get the Kindred of the Kindred of Rot's Exaltation, or you can go for the Sewers. The Sewers one is pretty much only faster if you literally have Sewers.
Which he will be right next to it with getting Shackles and the Somber 7, right? So.
And it is an NPC, and Stormhawk Axe is a great NPC killing weapon.
Yeah,
That's
the issue
another
is the
reason
two
why that.
dogs, but even with the Ash of War, honestly.
Yeah. Stormhawk Axe might be like the best weapon for that fight because you can just do the Ash as like a get off me for both the NPC and the dogs.
Yeah, anything with AoE in there is going to be good. I feel like of everything
Shaka,
I've
why
pulled
roll
in,
back?
Oh.
I'm actually not good with Bloodhound's Fang, I guess.
It's tough for Shaka.
This should be an easy
Yeah.
fight.
His last two boss fights have been just not treating him well.
As a general tip for Noble, outside of like Noble presence in the fire ring, you don't like as on the sword attacks, you don't really want to roll back.
Yeah, you probably shouldn't. I know if that's what you're used to, you can do it, but
Yeah.
it's definitely not optimal. Parry shield also would have helped here. Small shield check at Rhea Lucaria takes about 10-15 seconds.
Shaka does love to parry.
Can make this a
Tanner, you
much
gotta kill
better
that
fight.
Scarab for the 7. Okay. Doesn't go for it. He's going Exaltation in the Sewers.
Surprised to see him ignore the 7 there. He might just not be thinking about it. He might be.
Or he's grabbing this Grace and going back for it.
That could work too.
Alright, he's just rushing Shackles. Shaka, I'm gonna put you back on the big screen. Don't let me down.
Come on, Shaka.
Dude, that's so stupid.
No.
They're like, yeah, the tail
This
whip
is
catching.
just a devastating thing. Between this fight and Black Knife Assassin, he's just giving Torsadz so much time.
Yeah. I feel for Shaka too, because Shaka's been playing so much bingo recently and just
He's been playing
Unfortunately-
really well.
yeah, unfortunately not able to deliver today. Which happens, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's sports, right? Like you can practice all you want, but you gotta deliver on the day. But it sucks.
Yeah.
Also, guys, stay with us. We're gonna have 2 more matches after this. We'll be going into the Golden Order section of the day, where we have 2 matches. It'll be Strump versus Ginger in game 1, and then Dino versus Asim in game 2.
Both
And-
great.
I will be joined. Well, I was planning on being joined by Shaka. I think he'll still be good.
I can always fill in.
Yeah, there's
for
a chance
him
we
if
may have to
needed.
call an audible if he's a little.
Whatever he's feeling.
If he's rightfully doesn't want to do it, which would make
Yeah.
sense.
He can always take the final game as well if he needs to. And I could take the next one, which would be fine with me, but we'll see. It is always, disheartening to lose.
Yeah.
Patch is getting absolutely worked. Unfortunate. Oh. Yeah, this is I think one of the biggest issues with Bloodhound's Fang is people think it's an L2
Can he
machine
hit him?
and like brain dead. There is a lot of skill actually required in properly using the Ash of War on this weapon.
Yeah, because you need to time it very well. You get a limited amount of iframes when you do the Ash with the follow-up. And then speedrunners make it look so easy, but it's not at all.
Yeah, and there's a reason they're unlocked as well. You kind of want to position yourself with it if you can. Because, like, you get the limited amount of iframes, so sometimes it's better to just, like, move yourself out of the way as well.
Oh, come on.
So Tanner just has to go back to Round Table to buy the second shackle. I think he's grabbing a Grace here to set up potentially Dragonkin for later. Come on,
Winning on
Shaka.
Dragonkin is a pretty valid move. Noble Presence strikes again.
Let's go.
That's my goat.
Wait,
Oh, Stitcher.
Vanilla drop. He dropped Stitcher.
Oh, that's an extremely rare occurrence right there. Take
Yeah,
notes.
that's very
Don't clip
rare.
it. That never happens.
Yeah.
We were talking about that earlier.
It's like it can happen, but for some reason it's like a less than 1% chance of getting vanilla weapons from their drop. Okay, yeah, so Tanner is just gonna go Dragonkin.
Okay, this actually is not bad for Shaka. I understand why Tanner's doing this. It's so free.
I'm surprised Lion's Claw Ash of War is still on the board. That one's fairly easy. Also, Incants only with a fire spell in Round Table. I mean, there were some easy squares on the board that Shaka could pick up here.
Yeah. Light technical difficulties on my end. Fixed it. We're good. Yeah, for Shaka here, like, I don't know. Tanner's about to waste a good amount of time to get to his 10th square.
Yeah,
Shaka's down 4. He could probably close that gap a little bit right here.
Yeah, there are fast squares, right? Deathbird, Deathrite Bird, Sorcery only, Incant only. Well, Sorcery only is kind of harder for Shaka because of this. There is a way back. It's gonna involve some snipes and playing well, but I do think there is actually a way back because Tanner's left enough early squares on the board here for Shaka.
100%. And there is something to be said. I think one of the hardest skills in bingo is actually closing out a game.
I agree.
Like, it's weird to say, but like even when you're up 9-5, like going to make the, like right now, Torsadz needs to count, what are my next 3 squares? You need to pick your like next 3.
Yeah.
And figure out, all right, this is my plan. Here's a contingency. Here's what I also set up because I have time to do that.
No.
Like, he has 2 night bosses. He should just hold prio on that. He should not just go rush and do that right now, right?
Yeah, like I remember back when we did the Rookie Rumble, which was a beginners only event. Obviously, there were a lot of great players in there. I mean, multiple of them are now in the Golden Order. But one of the things that I was working on them with the most was like closing out games. There were a lot of games that were thrown or nearly thrown at the end because players are just struggling to close out the game. So it is a learned skill. I know if you're used to watching some of the Golden Order matches, like players like Helios in particular, make it look easy, but it's very much a learned skill to close out games. Oh, Shaka!
What the fuck?
One shot? That's insane.
All right, Tanner did go get the shackles. Why is he running up here?
I'm not entirely sure what the game plan is with that.
Godfrey's not a night boss. Is there a Somber 7 somewhere that I'm not thinking of?
Is there a 7 in Round Table? There's a 6 over here. I mentioned earlier the 6 was a problem because you have no reason to do Falling Star Beast. I think he's getting the 6.
I thought he
Falling
grabbed
Star Beast.
I thought he grabbed the 6 in sewers. Maybe he didn't.
No, he didn't. Where is... Oh, there's the one above the 7, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. No, he does. I don't think either of us know where that is, actually. I need to check that.
I don't know where he's going. Yeah,
There's a Somber 6 right here.
No, he didn't go get the 6. The 6 is up in the sewers. It's on the pipes. You got to walk up high.
Oh,
okay. There's a 6. So he still needs a 7.
So he's probably going to go back and get that. That's probably why he grabbed the Grace.
Mm-hmm.
He could have picked it up on the way. It would have been a little faster, but might as well just get the Shackles, set that up, set up Exaltation. Like, Sewer is actually very powerful right now for him. Unless he just decides he doesn't want to do that.
He has the 7?
Oh, did he grab the other 7 that's down in the sewers on the ground level? There's one that's just a drop.
Oh, he might have grabbed that.
Maybe we missed that.
I
That
guess
makes
he
more
does have the
sense
7.
than killing the Scarab, right?
Shaka's now going Exaltation.
Not a bad move. Hopefully he has the Stone Sword keys. I would assume so.
Well, you know what they say about when you assume. You make an ass out of you and me. You ever heard that one before?
Well, it's my line. I'm upset you stole it.
Oh, really?
Sometimes
Sometimes I have these expressions in, to me, they're commonplace, but some of them are apparently like some Midwest bullshit that I picked up on.
Yeah, that
are
one's
very...
Midwest bullshit. That's why we both know it.
He didn't have the keys.
See? That's one of those things that just happens a lot. Like Tunnel Vision,
Yeah.
I probably grabbed Stormhill and EG Key because I always do that, and then you just didn't grab one of them, right? Oh, and Tanner actually, I don't think, knows how to do this, but he's just going to send it because he's seen people doing it.
All right, so that'll be Somber 9 for Tanner. He just has to go upgrade. Let's go check in with our hero.
But we're already right here. Royal Knight Loretta.
5. Tanner really showing up today.
Yeah. He's doing
Pretty
Loretta as a
dominant.
night boss.
Royal Knight Loretta. I like that. It's a little bit of a weird choice.
So, Reddy, I just realized how well the bandana colors synergize because I'm on the blue side wearing blue and you're on the red side wearing red.
There's no commentator bias, we swear. Neither of us have a favorite here.
It just worked out that way.
Yeah. I'm wearing the better shade of red, otherwise known as pink. Beautiful. I mean, Shaka's really using this Ash of War a lot better on the Deathbird. I'm liking how he's doing this fight. He got a little unlucky last time, but... making good space there. You can actually dodge that wing attack just by running in as well, but that can feel a little weird. Yeah, that attack, if you just run into the Deathbird, they'll hit the ground behind you, which can be pretty nice.
No, no, no. Run, run. You're cooked. He's alive. Nope. Yes, he's alive.
Yep.
I thought he was going to get hit by the trail, the snail trail.
I thought the trail or the stomp there were going to get him, but stayed
built
calm,
different.
cool, collected.
He's got that dog.
A little bit of dog in this guy.
Can I pet that dog?
He's a man.
I'm a man, man.
Oof. Ooh. Rocket is making me nervous. Still got enough heals. Deathbird's getting low.
Tokyo, you are correct. The Exaltation Talisman is in sewers. There's a lot of squares still on the board. Tanner could go for it. He's deciding to clean up night bosses instead. I mean, Tanner just has a lot of options here, and Shaka's playing catch up.
Yeah, I mean, Esgar is not a fun fight.
Yeah,
either.
Esgar also just sucks.
Like, Tanner has to get Lord of Bloods a lot for challenge runs. Very useful talisman. He's very aware of how annoying that fight can be.
Yeah, when I was doing the all bosses speedrun, Esgar was one of the scariest bosses in the run.
He's terrifying.
Yeah.
He's legitimately actually like a brutal boss. The blood loss is fast.
Yeah, even at like
Royal Knight
level
Loretta for Tanner.
Even at like level 150, I was scared of him. Oh, he also got Rock Sling too. That's great for sorcery only.
Yeah, especially with the meteorite staff, it'll get buffed. That could be a problem for Shaka. 'Cause I don't. Selen could have like Slicer or even like Glintstone Shard or Pebble are actually really good for the Sim Shade. Oh, but he doesn't have the Sim Shade. He needs. Yeah, no, Shaka's. That's a square that Shaka's kind of like soft locked out of unless he can find a fire spell. The much easier Deathbird now. Well, the damage on that headshot is pretty insane. Right, and that's it for Shaka. Another square on the board.
Yep.
11-6.
Tanner's now going for the 5-time champion bowl.
That's the water cave. See
Carrying
water
that.
cave. For the exaltation.
And I mean, with a +9, Bowles, the 5-time champ, may have some problems here with Torsadz, the 2-time winner.
The 2-time winner.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be very clean.
All right, now
No,
Tanner will
we
just need one more
fourth-
square here.
4th night boss. It could be anything. He could go for Grave Glovewort Bell Bearings, Exaltation. He has Rock Sling, so Sorcery.
Didn't he also set up Dragonkin Soldier?
He has, yeah, the first step of Shifra's unlocked, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nah, he's going Exaltation. Which actually,
Could be a snipe.
this gives Shaka hope, dude.
There's hope. I mean,
There's a
unfortunately, Shaka, I don't know if Shaka can get 6 square. Shaka, so the match time limit is 2 hours. If both players are tied at 2 hours, it will go into overtime, where it is next square wins. Or if the match progresses 15 more minutes without either player getting a square, it is whoever got to the tying number first would be declared the winner. So Shaka here does need 6 squares in the next 20 minutes to just force overtime.
Yeah. Which is a bit of a high bar. It's doable. I don't know if it's doable with these squares.
Yeah.
There's a little too diverse, and he doesn't quite have the progression.
Yeah.
He had maybe Radon dead. Did he got Radon? I can't remember. He went back. I think he died, yeah.
Yes?
He could.
No, I actually can't remember.
Yeah. I believe he died and pivoted out, but...
And honestly, the biggest problem is he has to do all that without Tanner getting another square.
Yeah, like, Glovewort Bellbearing Dragon can synergize well if you can go via Fort Height. He just can't do much about Dragon Barrel Boss Sorcery only. Like, as soon as Torsadz decides to do that, that's his square with Rock Sling and Meteorite Staff. And 40 Vig, like, you can definitely still die to the Sim Shade, but it's going to take 2 bleed procs probably.
Also, we are going to have to do a fairly quick turnaround here to get ready for the next match, which is supposed to start in 8 minutes, but probably not going to start right on time. So I think we will probably just bring Tanner in for a post-match little interview while we get set for the next match.
really careful. Oh no.
The Coomers strike
no.
again.
Yeah. He should still be ahead here. He'll have a second try.
Yeah.
But you gotta be quick on these guys, right? Like, you can tell their health is very low. Like, this is a +5 weapon, which isn't bad, but realistically, like, not great. And they still melt. The problem is they just shoot so much damage out if you get hit by pest threads, and even like their melee combos are not insignificant.
Yeah.
The bigger issue is obviously the pest threads. Your goal is to stagger this first one as fast as possible.
Yeah, on the bright side, as long as Shaka does...
You can't.
Never
miss
mind.
over toast.
If that first part of the Ashel War hits, he's good right there, but he's having a tough time.
All right, in a change of events now, Tanner is going for the Cumbug duo for the game.
Yeah.
We're standing up. We're
Standing up, he's ready. I hear him screaming through the floor. That's my boy.
Come here, you bitch! Elden! Ah! I fucking love cum! Yeet! 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 Ah! Ah!
Oh my god.
All right, and Tanner wins with the bingo.
Bingo majority.
Fuck you, who's? Fuck you, who's?
Why me?
No, he didn't think you believed in him.
Good match. Fun match. I got my bingo. I fucking finally got my goddamn bingo.
Is that Tanner's first bingo?
Holy shit.
I think so. I think that was his first bingo.
I'm gonna come. I actually already did. Sometimes it'd be like that.
All right.
Yeah, someone clip that for us. That was the greatest ending speech I've ever seen to a bingo game.
Yeah. All right.
That was unbelievable.
We're gonna bring Tanner in here.
Ow! That's my boy!
Ah! What are you doing?
He's
Stomping.
stomping on my head.
Making sure he can hear it.
GG's. Congrats on the win.
Dude, I wish you could see my little boner right now. It's huge. Oh god.
How you feeling about that win, buddy?
Oh, I'm so happy. I finally got my dude, I can die happy. I finally got a bingo. Felt good. Lots of skissues. Still pulled it through. Fucking
Yeah, great starting idea, brother. You see that right away, Liurnia?
yeah. Yeah. I didn't know how early I should. Let me look at the board again. What was it? It was 3 keys, Thopses, Cleansing Flame, fucking Renala. I didn't know how early I should do Renala, but it seemed like, I mean, I think I did it like 4th square or something. Or
I
like
think you
5th square.
Did you do Scion first? I know. I think you did do Renala first.
I didn't see the Scion, so it turned out to be way better than I thought it was going to be. I mean, like, I did Scion fucking first because I was like, I mean, let's just try it. But I totally forgot with Imbued Sword Keys, it goes with Grafted Scion. So I was like, oh, that's actually a fucking play and a half.
Yeah, the Scion first play was a little psychopathic. I'm not going to lie, boss.
No, I mean, I was thinking Palm Blast, and I forgot how to use the Palm Blast.
Gotta hold it.
And yeah, I thought you just tap it.
Yeah, the best part of that about that play was that you died quickly.
Yeah.
But overall, Tanner, you played a hell of a game, dude. You played incredible.
That was fun.
Yeah.
I had mucho funo.
You seemed very locked in and like really came to fight. I was quite impressed. You played great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen you play that serious, brother.
No.
That
Dude, it was a Super Bowl. I had to.
Yeah.
Where's Shaka at?
He's pissed. Shaka's here.
Hey, buddy.
What up, dude? GG's, dude.
Jeez, dude.
Yeah, dude.
How was the game for you, buddy?
Oh, it was great, dude. What about you, man?
I think I played. This is definitely the best bingo match I've ever played.
I bet, dude. That Bloodhound's Fang help out?
Oh, I didn't find that. Where was that?
What? You didn't find it? What were you using as a weapon?
Fucking Stormcock.
Stormhawk axe the whole way through.
Yeah. Fuck.
Dude,
Where was
fucking
that?
GGs. Well done.
It was
Dude,
from
I-
the lake merchant in Liurnia, the lakeside
The
merchant.
first
I guess you
Liurnia
did. You
merchant.
did axe trek and you found Stormhawk and rocked that the whole way through.
Yeah. It ended up being
Just-
all right. Bloodhound would have been fucking sick though. Damn.
Yeah, this whole time I was under the impression you found Bloodhound after going. Did you check like after hitting Thops, like getting his grace, hitting that merchant right there? You know, because like Thops was your first keep. That's interesting.
Yeah, I got a weapon on board before Tops' key because I suck ass at dog. That fucking
what class did you start with?
what did I start? The Confessor?
Dry
You
Leaf
started with the
Arts.
same class.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I tried
EP.
killing Grafted Scion at the beginning with Palm Blast, but it was not happening.
Yeah. Yeah, you played out of your ever-living mind then, dude. GG's.
Jeez.
GG's, gents. GG's.
Please become Elden Lord.